Lena then went on to share this picture, and this is a moment taken from when Paul and Ariana did an interview for Variety, I believe, and Paul says, "I watched you guys in the press tour," and Ariana says, "Insufferable, yes," which, does that mean like Cynthia's partner isn't too happy with how this press tour has been going? She also shared this post of Ariana Grande, which doesn't give me much, but it's just kind of random.
Tonight, the internet is buzzing with one question. Did Ariana Grande cross a line with Cynthia Erivo and finally push Cynthia's partner, Lena Waithe, over the edge? Overnight, timelines lit up with screenshots, cryptic captions, and shaky insider claims, all painting the same picture, a quiet simmer that might have just boiled over. People online are pointing to the Wicked press tour, the lingering touches, the intense eye contact, the matching ink, and that now infamous fan incident where Cynthia held Ariana like the rest of the room disappeared. Fans are stitching clips together and saying Lena has been watching this build for months, and now she's had enough. We're not saying anyone cheated or that anything has been confirmed behind the scenes, but the chatter out there is loud. Viewers are convinced Lena's recent posts and comments are not random at all, but a direct response to Ariana getting way too close for comfort. So tonight, we're breaking down how the viral moments, the emotional captions, the rumored jealousy, and why so many people believe Lena is sending a very clear message to Ariana Grande. I see you, and I'm not playing anymore. The whole thing, according to people online, really starts with one tiny detail that most viewers would have missed if the internet hadn't frozen the frame, zoomed in, and replayed it 100 times. It's a Wicked promo interview. Ariana and Cynthia are side by side, bodies angled in toward each other, laughing like they're in their own little bubble. At one point, a fan says on social media that you can see Cynthia leaning in, Ariana brushing her hand along Cynthia's arm, and that lingering look that's been dissected to death on fan accounts. The moment passes in a second on camera, but it doesn't pass for Lena. Because not long after that, people claim Lena posts a story with that now circulating line, "I watched you guys on the press tour, insufferable." Now, we're not saying she meant Ariana and Cynthia for sure. We don't know what was in her mind, but fans immediately connected the dots. They grabbed the clip of the two actresses from that same sit-down and slapped Lena's words on top of it. Suddenly, a random Instagram story turned into Exhibit A in what viewers are now calling an emotional soft war. One fan wrote under a reposted screenshot, "You don't use the word insufferable unless you're done being polite." Another added, "This doesn't sound like someone joking. It sounds like someone who's been holding back for a long time." Interview 553 to 615. From there, speculation took over. Comment sections filled with people asking the same thing. If everything is so innocent, why does Lena sound this frustrated? Because if you zoom out from that single story, the timeline that fans are building in their heads looks very different. They point out that from the moment Wicked promo kicked off, Ariana and Cynthia seemed almost inseparable. Red carpets, interviews, behind-the-scenes clips. They were always standing close, whispering in each other's ears, sharing private smiles, while the rest of the room faded into background noise. In one interview that keeps getting reposted, Ariana looks at Cynthia like she's the only person in the room and says, "I just feel so safe with you." Cynthia gives her that soft, focused look and replies, "I've got you, always." Is that just sweet friendship? Is it just co-stars hyping each other up for the cameras? Plenty of people say yes. But others, especially those defending Lena online, are asking why the energy feels so loaded. Viewers are stitching together little moments. A light hand on a thigh under the table. A thumb rubbing circles on a shoulder while the other one answers a question. A lingering hug in the wings after a performance. On their own, each moment could be brushed off as normal affection. Put together in a fast-paced montage on TikTok, they start to look like a story. And in that story, Lena isn't the center. She's the one pushed to the edges. Imagine scenes start swirling across fandom pages. Lena at home, watching yet another clip where Ariana is clinging to Cynthia's hand on stage. The two actresses leaning into each other, heads touched, sharing a microphone, harmonizing like they're sharing one heartbeat. The crowd cheering, the camera flashes popping. And somewhere off stage, people picture Lena staring at a screen, jaw tight, wondering when she became the outsider. Again, this is how fans are framing it. We're not inside anyone's living room. We're not inside anyone's mind. But the narrative forming online paints Lena as the person who's been quietly watching the closeness grow from cute to concerning. That's why her second post hit so hard. Right after the insufferable buzz, screenshots started circulating of another quote she allegedly shared. Maturity in a relationship is when you stop your mind from creating false stories about your... On paper, it sounds like a self-reminder. A note to self, stay calm, don't spiral, don't overthink. But once you drop that quote into a timeline
of each other on screen and off screen, and just kind of have a really truthful friendship and a beautiful sistership that continues to grow and grow even through this press tour. Something's bothering her. She's gonna fix something. I know. She's getting the fixing itch that Cynthia Erivo gets.
It's not there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because
you're crazy. The conversation shifts. It stops being just about Ariana and Cynthia's chemistry and becomes about Lena's internal battle. Is she being paranoid? Is she seeing things that aren't there? Or has she been noticing the same pattern repeat itself every time the two co-stars step in front of a camera together? People online start writing imagined lines for her, almost like they're scripting her inner monologue. Why is she always touching you? Why do you light up more when she walks in than when I do? Why does every interview feel like a love confession I'm not part of? We don't know if Lena has ever said those words. None of that is confirmed. But fans are filling in the blanks because they see a woman who, in their eyes, went from silent to subtly sharp in a matter of weeks. To them, it doesn't look like a sudden reaction. It looks like a breaking point. That breaking point gets its own fuel when Ariana posts her emotional message to Cynthia, the one where she calls her my Cynthia and talks about knowing and loving her as a privilege. Again, in Hollywood friendship language, it could be completely normal. Co-stars write poetic captions about each other all the time. But when you throw that on top of matching tattoos, endless physical closeness, and a girlfriend who's already posting about false stories and inattention, the whole situation feels like a loaded gun just lying on the table. One fan summed it up in a single comment: "If I was Lena, I'd be pacing the room." And that's really the heart of why people are so obsessed with this storyline. They're not just watching celebrities on a promo tour. They're projecting themselves into that relationship dynamic. They're imagining what it would feel like to scroll through your feed and see your partner's co-star holding their hand in every photo, staring into their eyes in every clip, getting ink permanently etched onto their skin in matching designs. If you've ever been in a relationship where someone from work suddenly shows up in every conversation, every post, every plan, you already know why this hits a nerve. A lot of viewers aren't just talking about Ariana and Cynthia. They're talking about their own lives using these two as stand-ins. That's why, even though nothing has been confirmed, even though nobody involved has publicly dragged anybody, the tension around this situation feels so heavy. Because what fans see, rightly or wrongly, is a triangle forming. And in that triangle, one person looks dangerous.
Nasty rumors going around about Ariana and Cynthia. The headlines read that Cynthia's partner, Lena Waithe, can't stand Ariana Grande, and there are some clues to accompany this assumption because Lena's been posting some really cryptic things.
Some people are whispering that Lena might be facing the kind of emotional storm she once, allegedly, helped create for someone else. What really sends this whole situation into overdrive, at least in the eyes of the internet, is when people start dragging the past into the present. Because for a lot of fans, this isn't just about one press tour or one emotional caption. It's about patterns, timelines, and a feeling that they've seen this movie before. The whisper starts softly. Didn't Lena once end up on the other side of a messy timeline too? From there, the internet does what it does best. It starts connecting dots, whether those dots truly belong together or not. People begin resurfacing old interviews, red carpet photos, and articles about how Lena and Cynthia first came into each other's orbit. They talk about that Met Gala moment, how the two of them reportedly clicked instantly, how quickly they began showing up together, how fast the dynamic between them started to look like something more than casual friendship. Viewers online describe it like this. One minute, Lena is a married woman with a spouse at home, and the next minute, she and Cynthia are being seen everywhere together, in coordinated outfits, holding hands, leaning into each other in ways that had fans whispering long before anyone confirmed anything. Some followers are very careful to say, "We're not accusing anybody of cheating," but they still point out how the timeline felt suspiciously tight back then. One commenter writes, "It's wild watching this now. Back then, people were saying, 'Isn't this low-key shady to her wife?' And now, years later, fans are asking if Lena is getting a taste of that uneasy feeling from the other side." Again, none of this is that proven. This is how people online are interpreting the vibes. But narrative-wise, it's powerful. Because suddenly, the story the internet is telling itself isn't just Ariana might be pushing boundaries with Cynthia. It becomes, what if the very kind of emotional overlap that once worked in Lena's favor is now working against her? That's how the word karma starts floating through comment sections. Not saying she deserves it, someone writes, but it's interesting how similar this looks to the early days of Lena and Cynthia. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, another adds. And then there's the Ariana factor. For years, her love life has played out loudly in public. Whirlwind romances, private ceremonies, sudden engagements, abrupt endings, and songs that seem to wink at messy situations. Fans know the headlines by heart. The fast engagement to Pete, the brief marriage, the drama with Ethan Slater. Whether fair or not, a lot of people already see Ariana as someone whose relationships move at lightning speed and tend to leave chaos in their wake. So when you drop her into this already sensitive situation, a visibly intense bond with a co-star who's in a committed relationship with someone else, people don't just look at the present, they drag the entire back catalog into it. On Twitter and TikTok, threads start popping up. Ethan left his wife and kid, now she's allegedly drifting away from him too? What if Wicked is just her new relationship pipeline? Cynthia is taken, Ethan was taken. At some point, this can't just be coincidence, right? Again, this is commentary. It's speculation. It's fans externalizing their own relationship anxieties onto famous faces. But with every thread, every edit, every snarky caption, the tension around Ariana's presence in Cynthia's life grows. Inside that storm, viewers imagine Lena. In their version of events, she's not just a jealous partner scrolling through comments. She's someone walking into rooms where Ariana's name keeps coming up. Someone hearing, "We're going to have dinner with Ariana after the event. You don't mind, right?" More times than she can count. Someone sitting at the end of the couch while Cynthia and Ariana are on FaceTime, laughing at inside jokes that Lena isn't part of. She might smile, she might nod, she might say, "Of course, babe, I'm happy you found someone you can connect with." But in the fan-created version of her inner world, there's this tight, hot feeling building in her chest every time she hears the word sister or soul twin thrown around too casually. TikTok voiceovers start doing dramatic reenactments of what people think those private tensions might sound like. In one imagined scene, fans picture Lena sitting at the kitchen table while Cynthia walks in, phone in hand, glowing from another long conversation. That Ariana again? Cynthia, smiling, pouring a drink. Yeah, she just wanted to run through some vocal ideas. We're performing together again soon. It has to be right. Do you two ever talk about anything other than work? Cynthia laughs. Of course. We talk about everything. She understands me. You know that. It's not that deep, baby. There's a pause. Lena, it looks pretty deep from where I'm sitting. We don't know if this conversation ever happened. There's no evidence it did. But this is the kind of dialogue viewers are crafting to explain to themselves why someone would post something as sharp as insufferable, and why that caption might hit harder than just a throwaway line. Because that's the thing. To fans, the word choice says everything. If she had written annoying or they're doing too much, it might have landed as light shade. But insufferable feels personal. It sounds like something you say when you're not just irritated, you're exhausted. Commentary channels break this down frame by frame. She sounds done pretending. This doesn't read like someone who's just over the internet hype. This reads like someone who's over watching the same movie play out again. Then there's Ariana's explanation, the one where she talks about channeling energy through her hands, about needing to touch, hold, and reach out physically to the person she's with as a way to soothe and they see a signature move. Commentary channels lean into that angle hard. Hosts sit in front of ring lights, eyebrows raised, saying things like, "Let's be real, matching tattoos aren't casual." And "We've seen Ariana do this before, it's part of her emotional language." Meanwhile, Lena's earlier posts start looking less isolated and more like part of a bigger pattern. People drag back every cryptic quote, every quiet like on a post about boundaries, every moment she's been seen in public looking less than thrilled, and they stack them on top of the new tattoo discourse like bricks. A woman can only swallow so much, one TikTok creator says in a voiceover. At some point, that tight smile stops working. In imagined scenes, the tension between Lena and Cynthia doesn't erupt all at once. It creeps in slowly, disguised as little comments, long silences, sudden changes of subject. Cynthia talking about another interview with Ariana. Lena going quiet, eyes fixed on her phone. Cynthia asking, "You okay?" Lena responding, "I'm fine," in that tone that says the opposite. Fans imagine late-night arguments that go in circles. Cynthia, "You think I'd cheat on you?" Lena, "I think you're letting someone else take up a lot of space in your heart and calling it friendship." Cynthia, "She's my friend, my co-star, that's it." Then why does it look so familiar? That last line hits especially hard for people who've been following both of their careers for years, because the storyline some viewers are building isn't just about one current discomfort, it's about deja vu. They pull up old clips of Cynthia describing Lena in the early days of their connection, calling her incredible, a light, someone I was immediately drawn to. They line those quotes up next to more recent interviews where she describes Ariana as a sister, someone I speak to almost every day, an instant connection. Presented side by side in fan edits, the language feels eerily parallel. Voiceovers on those edits say things like, "She talks about them the same way," and "If I were Lena, this would make my stomach turn." Then there's Ariana's own explanation for all the touching, the hand-holding, the constant physical contact. In one interview, she describes herself as someone who channels her energy through touch, who has to be holding something or someone, who uses physical closeness as a way to study herself. On paper, it's a harmless personal quirk, almost endearing. But by the time she says it, the audience has already seen dozens of clips where that touch is focused almost entirely on Cynthia, grabbing her hand, resting her head on Cynthia's shoulder, clinging to her during emotional moments. So when Ariana says, "It's just how I express support," some fans nod and accept it. Others roll their eyes and say, "Funny how that support keeps landing on people who are already in relationships." That's when the online debate really splits in two. On one side, you have people fiercely defending Ariana and Cynthia's bond as a deep but totally platonic, artistic connection. They argue that queer women and emotionally expressive people are constantly policed for being affectionate, that the public is reading romance into something that might simply be friendship between two performers who trust each other. On the other side, you have people saying affection is one thing, a whole emotional ecosystem that sidelines the actual partner is another. Those critics keep bringing the focus back to Lena. They picture her walking into spaces where Ariana is treated like part of the inner circle, with everyone laughing at inside jokes that were born on set. They picture her sitting at dinners where Cynthia and Ariana spiral into private conversations about music, scenes, harmonies, little moments from the day, leaving Lena holding her glass, smiling politely while observing a closeness she isn't part of. One fan describes it bluntly under a viral clip. It's not just that Ariana is close to Cynthia, it's that Cynthia seems to prioritize that closeness in every room. That's what would sting. In commentary videos, hosts start inventing dialogue that sounds painfully familiar to anyone who has ever felt pushed aside. Lena, sometimes I feel like a guest in my own relationship. Cynthia, how can you say that? You're the person I come home to. You come home physically. Emotionally, I'm not so sure anymore. The imagined conflicts aren't exploding with screaming and thrown objects. They're heavy with exhaustion, with someone feeling like they're always one conversation away from being told, you're just insecure, you're imagining things, you're not being supportive. And then, according to the narrative the internet is building, comes the breaking point. People say that Lena's posts start sounding less like gentle reminders to herself and more like warning shots. Less about calming her mind and more about setting lines in the sand. Quotes about self-respect, posts about not ignoring your instincts, stories hinting at invisible battles nobody knows about. Viewers interpret those as messages meant for multiple audiences at once. For Cynthia, a plea to recognize the damage the situation might be doing. For Ariana, a quiet, public way of saying, I see you, and I'm not easily fooled by the soft-voiced act. For herself, a promise not to play blind in her own life. On TikTok, creators lip-sync to audio like, I'm not going to argue with you about my reality. I know what I see. They overlay it with pictures of Lena on one side and intertwine shots of Ariana and Cynthia on the other. The public tension starts to feel like a triangle drawn in neon. Ariana and Cynthia at the top, sharing their intense artistic bond. Lena at one corner, holding on to the relationship she's built with Cynthia. Ethan at the other corner, still attached to Ariana by past choices and big sacrifices, while rumors swirl that she might be emotionally shifting her attention elsewhere. 4 people, 2 existing relationships, 1 Alina. Deeply entangled film set. Fans declare it a slow-motion car crash, one they can't stop watching. From there, the whispers begin about Lena possibly reaching a point where she's ready to move beyond vague quotes and subtle shade. People speculate that she might have seen or experienced private moments that crossed an unspoken line, things much more pointed than anything the public has seen in interviews or on carpets. The theories say she's holding details close, not out of fear, but out of strategy. That she's watching to see if the situation stabilizes or if it keeps escalating into something she can no longer excuse as innocent. Of course, all of this lives in the realm of social media storytelling. None of it has been confirmed by the people involved. But online, perception often matters more than proof. Once fans lock into an emotional narrative, they cling to it like it's their favorite plotline on a messy reality show. And in this plotline, it feels like we're right on the verge of a confrontation arc. Maybe not a public blow-up, maybe not comments blasted out in all caps on Twitter, but something quieter and sharper, a moment where Lena, in the version of events people are imagining, finally stops tiptoeing and says something that sounds a lot like, "This isn't about me being insecure. This is about you pretending this situation is harmless when everyone can see it's not." That idea alone is enough to keep thousands of viewers refreshing their feeds, hunting for any new post, any new story, any tiny sign that something has tipped behind the scenes. Because this is what fandom does. It watches, it reacts, it stitches micro moments into full-blown sagas. And right now, the saga they think they're watching is one step away from Lena making it very clear that, in her eyes, Ariana isn't just a friendly co-star anymore. She's a problem. What really makes this whole thing feel like a ticking bomb in the eyes of the internet is the sense that everyone involved is trying to control the story, and the story keeps slipping through their fingers. On one side, you've got Ariana doing what fans see as quiet damage control. She's suddenly more vocal about why she's so physically affectionate, talking about channeling energy and wanting to make people feel supported. She repeats that Cynthia is her sister, her safe place, her musical twin. The language is soft, spiritual, poetic, the kind of phrasing that can be read as pure-hearted or painfully convenient, depending on where you're standing. On the other side, you have Lena, who, in the version of events people are building, looks like she's done trying to spin this into something cute. The posts, the likes, the hints about false stories and inattention, viewers say those were the warning tremors. Now, they think she's in earthquake mode. Commentary channels start painting a picture of a quiet turning point. In their imagined timeline, it's another event night, another Wicked-related appearance. Ariana and Cynthia walk a carpet together, dressed in coordinated colors, laughing in each other's ears, foreheads almost touching as they pose. There's footage of them holding hands as they walk off stage, Ariana squeezing Cynthia's fingers like she's drawing strength from her. The clips hit the internet in seconds. Underneath one of those videos, someone writes, "You would never guess this woman has a partner at home." The line gets screenshotted and reposted dozens of times. It starts getting tagged under Lena's photos. It jumps platforms. In the fictional version of the story, Lena sees it. Maybe not right away, but eventually. Maybe a friend sends it to her. Maybe she stumbles on it herself at 2 in the morning when she can't sleep. Whatever the path, the effect is the same. That knot in the pit of her stomach tightens. Fans imagine the conversation that comes after as the moment when things finally crack open. Cynthia walks in after a long day, still half lit from the adrenaline of performance and applause. She kisses Lena on the cheek, drops her heels by the door, and reaches for a bottle of water. "You look serious. Everything okay?" Lena keeps her eyes on her phone, then turns the screen around. On it, that comment sits under a clip of Cynthia and Ariana pressed together on stage. This is how people see you now. Cynthia frowns, scanning the words. "You would never guess this woman has a partner at home." "That's just trolls, baby. People talk." Lena? "They talk because you give them something to talk about." The room goes still, at least in the way fans picture it. The easy, rehearsed lines, "They're just fans, it's just work, you know how the internet is," suddenly don't feel strong enough to carry the weight of that comment. Cynthia tries anyway. "Cynthia, you know I love you. You know where my heart is. I can't control what people say about me and Ariana." Lena, "You can't control their mouths, no. But you can control how close you stand, how often you grab her hand, how many times you call her my anything on a public platform." For a second, there's nothing but breathing. Cynthia, "I won't apologize for having a deep connection with someone I work with. She's been there for me. Witted has changed my life. Ariana has been a big part of that." Lena, "And I'm supposed to pretend I'm grateful while the world edits me out of my own relationship?" That's the version of events the internet runs with, not because anyone leaked a transcript, but because people know what it feels like to hit this exact wall. To be told you're overreacting when all you're really doing is pointing at a line and saying, "We both know you've crossed it." From there, fan accounts start spinning out different branches of the story. In one version, Lena decides to get louder without ever naming names. More quotes go up on her stories. Things about not ignoring your intuition. Things about being done with "sound familiar?" Need constant external validation? About not being afraid to walk away from spaces that no longer feel safe? Sound familiar? One account captions a screenshot, placing it next to a clip of Ariana and Cynthia giggling into each other's shoulders. In another version, Lena goes quiet on purpose. No more quotes, no more cryptic messages, just silence. She stops liking certain posts, stops resharing certain milestones, stops showing up at some events. Fans treat that silence like a siren. If she's done posting, it's because she's already said everything she needed to say behind closed doors, one commenter suggests. Another adds, silence is an answer too. Meanwhile, in the public eye, Ariana and Cynthia continue the promo machine. Interviews roll out where they call each other family and forever. They talk about how much this film means to them, how grateful they are to have gone through it together. Ariana posts another heartfelt note about how she can't imagine having done this project with anyone else. Supporters think it's beautiful. They see two women celebrating a once-in-a-lifetime artistic bond. Critics see something else entirely, a kind of emotional doubling down, like Ariana is saying, no matter what anyone thinks, I'm not letting go of this connection. At the same time, Ethan's name starts creeping back into the conversation. He's mostly stayed out of the spotlight, at least in this fan-created narrative, but people haven't forgotten what he reportedly gave up to be with Ariana in the first place. A marriage, a family, a reputation. So when whispers surface that Ariana might be emotionally drifting or less present with him, the storyline scrapes open old wounds. Suddenly, people are asking, how does he feel watching this? How does it feel to blow up your life for someone and then see them locked in with somebody else on every carpet? The drama in viewers' minds becomes a mirrored mess. Lena worrying that she's losing Cynthia to Ariana. Ethan wondering if he's losing Ariana to Cynthia. Two partners on opposite sides of the same storm, both feeling like maybe they're the ones left standing outside when the doors close. Commentary channels milk that parallel for all it's worth. One host says, it's like the set of Wicked turned into a full-time emotional blender. Nobody is walking away from this untouched. Another adds, no matter how innocent you think the bonds are, the optics are wild. And that's really the fuel for this entire fake news narrative, the optics. Because the truth is, the audience doesn't live in these people's homes. They don't hear the private reassurances, the honest conversations, the late-night compromises. All they see are the photographs, the hugs, the tattoos, the captions. All they have are the words they can rewind and replay. They see Ariana and Cynthia pressed together under stage lights. They see matching ink. They see emotional declarations that sound suspiciously like love letters. They see a partner who appears to be shrinking quietly into the background. And from that, they build a whole universe. In that universe, Lena is done being the quiet observer. Fans imagine her drawing a line that nobody else can pretend not to see anymore. In a dramatized scene that keeps popping up in fan edits, she looks Cynthia in the eyes and says something as simple and final as, I'm not competing with your co-star. I shouldn't have to. Either you create space for me again, or I create distance for myself. Do those exact words exist anywhere in reality? No. They're a reflection of collective fears, frustrations, grudges, and experiences. They're the things people wish they had the courage to say in their own relationships, projected onto a famous couple they'll never meet. But whether fair or not, that's the role Lena ends up playing in this storyline. The person who finally says enough when everyone else is busy. From there, every tiny move becomes a cliffhanger. If Lena shows up at an event with Cynthia, fans cheer and say, okay, maybe they talked it through. Maybe they worked it out. If she doesn't, they whisper, Is this the beginning of the end? If Ariana posts about Cynthia again, people scream obsessed in the comments. If she doesn't, they say, is she backing off or just regrouping? It doesn't matter that none of the people involved have actually sat down and given a tell-all interview. It doesn't matter that no one has said, on the record, we're in a love triangle, or I feel threatened, or I'm stepping out of this. The internet has its story. Ariana, intense and affectionate, pouring herself into a connection that looks deeper than casual. Cynthia, caught between loyalty to her partner and the thrill of an undeniable creative bond. Lena, trying to protect what she built while wondering if history is
circling back in a cruel new form. Ethan, watching from the margins, wondering if the storm he walked into has just moved on without him. Are any of these imagined scenes completely accurate? We don't know. We're not in their rooms. We're not reading their group chats. What we're watching is a narrative stitched together from public moments, resurfaced interviews, and a whole lot of fan projection. But that's the power of this saga. It doesn't have to be confirmed to feel real to the people following it. Because if you've ever felt sidelined in your own relationship, if you've ever watched your partner get too close to someone else and told yourself you were overreacting, if you've ever had to swallow your instincts to keep the peace, then you already understand why this particular story has the internet hooked. It's not just about celebrities in a movie. It's about fear, jealousy, boundaries, and that terrifying question: what if the person you love doesn't even notice they're leaving you? Drifting until you're already gone? And that's exactly why, even without any official statement, people are convinced this is far from the end. In their eyes, we're not watching a love triangle that's been resolved. We're watching a fuse that's still burning slowly towards something that could either blow everything apart or force everyone involved to finally face what's really been happening behind all those smiles. So at the end of all this, one thing is crystal clear. Whether anything is really happening behind the scenes or not, the internet has already turned Ariana, Cynthia, Lena, and Ethan into the cast of a full-blown emotional drama. We're seeing fan theories, edited clips, cryptic captions, and imagined conversations all mashed together into one messy, addictive storyline. But remember, none of us are in their living rooms. We're not in the group chats. We don't actually know what's being said when the cameras are off and the phones go face down on the table. All we have are the public moments, the long hugs, the matching tattoos, the emotional speeches, the sharp little quotes about false stories and inattention. From that, fans are building their own version of events, a version where Lena is reaching her breaking point, Ariana is skating dangerously close to someone else's relationship, and Cynthia is stuck in the middle of a storm she may not even realize looks this intense from the outside. But is that the truth, or just how it feels when you string all those moments together and watch them like a reality show? That's where you come in. I want to hear what you think. Do you feel like Lena's reactions, the posts, and the alleged shade are understandable given the way Ariana and Cynthia present themselves in public? Or do you think social media is exaggerating a harmless, close friendship and turning it into a scandal that doesn't really exist? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on here? Team it's just friendship or team boundaries are being crossed? Do you think this is karma, coincidence, or just pure fan fiction? If you've watched till now, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. Because if this story keeps unfolding the way the internet thinks it will, the next chapter of this drama is going to be even crazier, and you're not going to want to miss it.